students, welcome back to your English class. So today we will start with a new chapter, that is the Tug of War from your course book. So this is your course book, Communicate with Cambridge. Okay, so chapter number 3, the Tug of War. Now before starting the chapter, let me explain it to you. What is the meaning of the Tug of War? Tug of War means a contest in which two teams pull at opposite ends of a rope until one drags the other over a central line. Okay? Now, let's come to the chapter. So, obviously, we will see here a tug of war. Now, let's see what is there inside the chapter, which is so much interesting. Alright? Let's start the chapter. One peaceful morning, a hare called Umvunla, who lived by the Zambezi River, was bored. That is, he was very bored. He was thinking of some pranks or tricks, like to have amusement. Okay, so he felt like creating a bit of fun for himself. Now, what type of fun? Let's see. So he looked around to see what he could do. It gave him great pleasure to trouble other animals. So this hare used to trouble all the other animals. Okay, now let's see what he will do today. Suddenly he spotted two dignified old residents of the area. Now, who are the dignified residents? The rhino and the hippo. Now you know that both are important animals, right? In magnitude, in figure, in size, yeah? Okay. Hippo, although aware of his ugliness, was very proud of his strength because he was always very proud of his strength. Alright? Now, Wumunla's mind was a treasure house of pranks. So he used to do pranks with everyone. Now he thought that let's do a prank with this hippo today. Okay? He hopped up to the riverbank and called, "Oh, mighty one, why do you say you are so strong? Like, what is the reason that you are strong? Why do you feel that you are so strong? Even I, with my small size and thin legs, could beat up in a tug of war. I can beat up in a tug of war with you also. So what's the big deal?" Hippo ignored Umvunla and his ridiculous boasting. That is, he didn't pay any heed to him. Just leave him. But the hare kept on pestering him. That is, he continued to disturb Hippo. At last, Hippo replied in the hope of getting some peace of mind. "So what is that?" he said. "A tug of war? All right, I will show you my little long-eared nuisance." So what is the meaning of long-eared nuisance? Long-eared here means having long ears and nuisance means annoyance. So Hippo thought that this small and tiny animal is continuously making nuisance. So let's see what he can do. Now, before going to the next page of the chapter, let's know certain meanings. Ugliness, the quality of being unpleasant or repulsive in appearance. Next one, pranks. Now, pranks means a practical joke or mischievous act which the rabbit did or the hare did, right? Next one, pestering. Trouble or annoy with frequent or persistent requests or interruptions. So, these are the meanings which were difficult for you to understand. So, that's why I have written it on the board. Now, we will go to the next page of the chapter. Okay? Now, Wumunla danced with delight. Now he was dancing because now his prank is ready. He pointed to an old rounded mound of earth beyond the riverbank. So just beyond the riverbank, he pointed to the old mound. "I bet I could pull you out of the water and over that termite hill," he taunted. Now he is taunting Hippo. Wumunla then dashed off to braid a long, strong rope. So, when he came back, he tied one end to Hippo's hind leg, saying, "When I shout pull, from behind the hill you must pull with all your might, for I shall surely beat you." That means you must pull with all your energy and I will surely beat you. Now he was so much confident. Okay, now let's see. Hippo thought that Bumbunla's foolishness had at last got the better of him. How? He said nothing and settled down again in the water. Now he knew that he will win, so why to worry, right? He soon dozed off. That is, he just in a way that he is sleeping or something like that. Okay. Bumbunla took the other end of the rope and crept around to the other side of the hill where old Rhino was sleeping. Now he went to Rhino. Now what did he say? He picked up some fierce little red ants from a nearby hole and quietly dropped them in Rhino's ears. Obviously the Rhino will get up from his sleep. Rhino awoke with a grunt and shook his head, trying to scratch his ears. Now he was getting irritated because of the ants, right? "Good morning," piped Bumbunla. "I was just coming here to warn you of the ants' nest." Now he just showed that he was so much sympathetic, right? But actually he was not. So now, "Oh, I see. One has crawled into your ear. May I help you?" "Remove it." And with a great pretense of concern, he was pretending to be very much concerned about this Rhino, but actually he was not. So he pushed the ants in further. "That was most kind of you," said the unsuspecting Rhino. That he thought that Bumbunla was helping him, but actually he was not helping. "Your small feet are just right, while mine are far too large for the job. You have no idea that what trouble I have with ants. Like, I have so much trouble with ants. Now you were so much helpful to me." And he grumbled on like cranky old people everywhere because he was getting disturbed by the ants. So that's why. "Well," replied the cheeky Bumbunla, "my feet may be small, but they are very strong. I challenge you to a tug of war." Now he challenged Hippo. Now he is challenging the Rhino as well. Now let's see. "I bet I can pull you right over this anthill and into the river. I have so much confidence and so much strength." Old Rhino snorted with laughter, but at last he too was pestered into playing Bumbunla's game. Now Bumbunla got both the Rhino and the Hippo in the game. So the hare tied the other end of the rope around Rhino's hind leg. Then he hurried to the top of the hill. He hid in a little hollow and called loudly. He hid in a little hollow and called loudly, "Pull!" By now the ants began to bite deep inside Rhino's ears, and Rhino was getting very irritated because of it. And with a bellow of pain, Rhino charged off. Poor old Hippo had forgotten about Bumbunla and his plan. He was dozing peacefully in his pool when there was a sudden hard tug on his hind leg. Now, what has happened? He startled. Before he knew it, he was dragged out of the river and halfway up the hill. Understood? Now, when Hippo realized what was happening, he dug his heels and gave a mighty heave. What is the meaning of heave here? Lift or haul something heavy with great effort. Okay? And the great tug of war started in earnest. Now the tug of war started between the Hippo and the Rhino. Each of the powerful animals strained every muscle, that is every strength they give in the tug of war, and worked themselves up into a fine fury. Now what is the meaning of fury? Wild or violent anger. Because both are very much angry. Because who is pulling with so much strength? So that's why. Now, each of the powerful animals strained every muscle and worked themselves up into a fine fury. Bumbunla laughed so much that he fell over and went rolling down the side of the anthill because his prank, he has played a prank and it was successful. him there, the two great animals knew that he had been unkind and he had tricked them. Now they were furious. Now let's see what is happening. Roaring with anger, they charged after Mumundla, hoping to trample him before he could tell the other animals how foolish they had been. Because obviously, Mumundla will say every animal that they were very much fool. So, what is the meaning of trample here? Tread on and crush. Now, as they charged, the hare waited until the last possible moment and then skipped out of the way. Hippo and Rhino were going so fast that they couldn't stop. With a tremendous crash, they met head-on. Head-on means head-to-head collision they had. And they had such a collision that hurting each other very terribly, that both were hurt equally. In a blind rage, they started a fight with each other. Because they didn't know that what was the actual prank, so they started fighting. Until they heard Mumundla, who was weeping with laughter. Now, why he was weeping with laughter? Because he was laughing in such a manner that tears would roll down from his eyes. To this day, Rhino thinks the little red ants are still in his ears. Some say that the ants are so far down that they live in his brain. And this is why Rhino is so bad-tempered or ill-tempered. Okay? Now, as for Hippo, you will find him still searching the riverbanks at night, hoping to find Mumundla and throw him to the hungry crocodiles because he was so furious, right? So this is the complete explanation of the chapter, the Tug of War. Now, let's come to the word meanings of the chapter, which you have to learn. Okay, students? So let's see. Dignified, calm and serious, deserving respect. Ridiculous. Here it means very silly, pestering, annoying someone. Next page. Taunted, try to make someone angry or upset by saying unkind things. Pretense, a way in which you behave to make people believe something that is not true. Unsuspecting, not aware of the presence of danger. In earnest, with great seriousness. Okay. And the last one is head-on, with the head making the first contact. That is the complete meaning. Now, I have explained to you the chapter clearly. Now, you will read the chapter and then listen to the explanation so that you can understand the chapter very clearly. Okay, students? So, that's all for today. Bye-bye, everyone.